What's up? What's up? Lois is saying hello to all the Earlomaniacs. Tuesday night in the Earlverse. Thought I'd do a stream to see how the fans are doing out there. And to let everyone know that I'm voting for Kamala Harris. James Kamala Harris. And so pretty normal day in the Earl world. It's very hot in Los Angeles, but I had the fortune of doing a video with my long-term collaborator, Jordan the Lion. Well, I'll let him tell you. I don't want to blow up his stream. And, a lot of people, I don't want to dox myself here. So, a lot of people ask me, Earl, why don't you do the road more? This is why I don't do the road. Fat stacks, baby. This is my super chat money. Not really. I don't think. Well, actually, the one that's behind here, it's holding up the painting, or else I would show it. I mean, I don't think it's rare, but it was like $74. Now I've got one coming from Pro Tower Wrestling. I've got a Kamala doll and a Medusa doll. I'm excited about. Medusa has already said that she would sign it for me. So yeah, this is this Earlverse doesn't have any particular theme. Might not even be an hour. Hit the like button if you have not done so already. And of course, my new streaming schedule is, the flagship shows will be Thursday and Sunday nights. And then I have plenty of AEW wrestling dolls. You can't really see them, but they're right over my shoulder. Got a Scorpio Sky, a Sting, and I think a Brody Lee doll. And then I have an MJF doll here and a Kenny Omega special Mortal Kombat edition doll. And then I got my autographed. It's an Eddie Guerrero doll, but Vicky Guerrero signed it, and that's near and dear to me. And then I've got a Taya Valkyrie doll. And my friend got me a Dewdrop doll. I do miss the cleaner. I'm wondering if they're trying to make sure it is. What is the date today? Let me look up here. It is August 6th. All in is 3 weeks from this weekend. I'm wondering if they're trying to see if Omega can wrestle, because a couple weeks ago they teased a battle for who's in charge of the Elite, which would mean Okada versus Omega. And if you've seen their New Japan matches, that's a good match. But I don't know if Omega's cleared to wrestle, and even if he was, is he in any kind of shape to wrestle? I do think Shane will be at All In London. Someone on YouTube yesterday had a really good idea. Shane versus Darby Allin. I wouldn't mind seeing that. It could just be a bump fest. Because I gotta be honest with you, right now, All In's not, like, floating my weenie. You've got Tony Storm versus Mariah May, that's been the best buildup. You've got Danielson and Swerve, and for some reason, that's just not doing it for me. And then you have, Ospreay and MJF, that could be match of the night. And then you've got Mercedes Moné against, the Doctor, Britt Baker. So they've got 3 weeks, which I don't like because it seems now they're just gonna rush some storylines in there. And you've got Jack Perry and Darby Allin. So, not a bad card, but this is your WrestleMania, baby. So I would think at the minimum, I would have a Jamie Hayter come back. That would get a good pop. And the Shane's probably the only guy that could cause a big reaction. And frankly, I've said this before, AEW has to get very creative now because it's go time. They've maxed out their ratings. So you have to figure out a way to get WWE fans interested in the AEW product, and getting Shane McMahon involved would do that. Um, See, I don't think they need better matchups. I think their problem is they try and appease the marks too much. So you have these great one-off matches, but there's no build-up, there's no storyline. Like I think I was talking today with Jordan about this. Like the AEW, I think their greatest storyline was the Devil storyline. But it also, you get the good and the bad of AEW in that storyline. The buildup was great. Perfect amount of time. The 3 attacks had, I believe, 3 different groups of attackers playing the same 4 guys. So it kept people guessing. Like, I remember the first attack on Jay White. People thought Britt Baker was the devil because the devil in that attack was very slender, almost a female body. I thought it was either Britt Baker or Danhausen, uh, which would have been funny. Evil Danhausen. And then the second attack, when they threw Bowens through the plate glass window, slightly bigger. Like, it might have been the same devil, but not the same group of henchmen. And then the devil attack against Hangman Page, they were all fucking jacked. I don't know who the devil was, but that was not Adam Cole. I mean, it looked like either Powerhouse Hobbs' body or maybe Shawn Spears. So that's the good. I mean, I had friends of mine in WWE who were like going, "Hey, who do you think it is?" So when you got guys from the other organization, your competitor, wondering who it is, that's a good storyline. Now, here's where you get the bad part of AEW. On paper, the reveal made sense because the Ring of Honor, NXT, those guys made perfect sense. The Kingdom, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole. I don't think Wardlow made any sense at all. It should have been Kyle O'Reilly. And then that makes really 100% sense on paper. But then you have your 2 main people in the storyline who you knew were going to be, after that pay-per-view, on the shelf. Adam Cole's got a broken ankle. MJF was going to take time off to heal. And so I would not have made them the central focus of that storyline because, Roderick Strong's over, but the Kingdom aren't really over. And so that explains why the Devil storyline kind of sputtered out. I mean, it seemed like Wardlow would come in maybe 1 out of every 4 appearances. So is he in the group or isn't he? And, they've now fucked up his character 3 fucking times. I mean, he is, to me, the best combo of Goldberg and Mike Awesome. And they just seem to not really know what to do with him. But, what up, Sour Milk? The WWE passed on Wardlow, too. So, I mean, WWE fucks up, too. But AEW needs better storytelling. Like Mariah May and Tony Storm, that's been brilliant. Great heel turn, Tony Storm's character, and I know RJ City, um, my boy, RJ City, has had a lot to do with that. But, you bring up Shane McMahon, and it's like, okay, he makes a big debut in All in London, but then what happens on Dynamite the next week? That's where they don't. It's like their thinking is, well, let's just get through All in London, and then we'll worry about Dynamite when we get there. So hopefully, I mean, if Shane McMahon became an on-air personality, I think his biggest benefit would be behind the scenes going, well, this is how we would do it in WWE. This is a storyline with MJF that we would do. This is a storyline for Wardlow that you could use. So it'll be interesting. I don't, man, he must really hate Triple H and his sister. But I get it, man. You think just because you're related to someone that you're going to get along with him, but that would be huge. I mean, that would get AEW back in business. Hannibal was just bashing AEW ratings. I mean, listen, Ross, they're horrible. Like, there's no denying it. Like, they're not even beating NXT. So, it's just going to be, after All in London, man, they better come up with some good storylines. I mean, look at so far. We're 3 weeks out of your WrestleMania. You don't have Okada in the storyline. Like, there's going to be no build-up. Just go throw him in there against some super, surprise guest, maybe. I mean, maybe David Finlay comes over, and the storyline is, I run Bullet Club, bitch. But, do American viewers know who David Finlay is? Like, I do, but I'm a mark. What up, Kip Smith? Animal Mother, always bringing the hot takes, and I appreciate it. I don't know if I'm the ruler of LA, but I appreciate that. I mean, Hannibal, I actually wrote him some jokes for some roast he was doing. Nice dude. And he's kind of, I wouldn't mind like having this stream be like the Dabbleverse of wrestling talk. But, I got to get probably another 100 people who like wrestling. Be safe, William Zoom. I know some of the weather is getting quite precarious in certain parts of the country. So in LA, it's just really fucking hot. I mean, for us, it is hotter than the balls on a brass monkey in the desert. I mean, poor Lois is like panting constantly. But I got a walker, man. And I don't mean Herschel. So it should be interesting the next couple weeks how they build into All in London. I mean, Jay White's not in a match. Now he might be legit hurt. Now Dolph Ziggler, well, he's a TNA champ, so I guess he couldn't come in, but you've got some potential surprises. I mean, Elias, he's not really wrestling right now. I think Matt Riddle, who's a legit MMA guy, he's not. I mean, he's he's kind of like a rogue free agent. Outside of that, I don't. I mean, Becky Lynch, someone said, is a possibility. I mean, I wouldn't mind having that. I mean, if you could, in my fantasy land for AEW Women's Wrestling, you get Becky Lynch in there. Britt Baker's back now, a returning Jamie Hayter. That's a good, group of women. Plus, Sky Blue. I hope she's okay with that injury she had. And then you've got, Abaddon, but she's probably like a jobber type for women. Paul London. Paul London would be a good creative mind, for AEW. I met Paul the first time at XPW of all things, and he's very, very good to the fans. Well, I mean, tomorrow night, Dynamite, they gotta really fucking start going all in. It's pardon the expression, on all in. I mean, you have to really kind of, you have to really, I mean, you got 3 weeks, and you gotta figure that last week they're gonna be traveling to London, so I don't know really how much you could do. So you've got really 2 weeks to get, Okada, Jay White if he's like not hurt, no Powerhouse Hobbs, Miro. I mean, they've, the amount of people that they let just waste away. I mean, Kyle Fletcher, I would hope would be on the UK card. I mean, he's Australian, but um, I would think that. Excuse me. Um, there could be a spot on the card for him. I mean, the Guns need a match. Uh, Now, I heard the Republic of Lucha might be leaving for WWE, so I doubt they're going to be on the card. The Young Bucks don't really have a match. Hangman Page doesn't have a match. So, there's a lot of kind of guys sitting on their asses uh, with no match. Now, I would think the international guys like Okada and Jay White, if Jay White is hurt, then I get why he's not on it. But Adam Cole, he hasn't wrestled in a minute. I don't think Roderick Strong's in a match. Um, so what up? What up, T Gun? This would be a quickie, maybe a half hour, unless we get pumping. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really have a ton of interest in like there's not like outside of MJF and Osprey, I'm not really like, oh my god, I've got to see Mercedes and Britt Baker. But who knows? I mean, they've got, I don't know if they tease Shane McMahon coming, if they debut him before All In, and then I mean, that would get some more pay per view numbers if maybe like what I would have done is had the match between Jack Perry, Darby Allin, and a mystery contestant. So Jack Perry comes out, Darby Allin comes out, and then you hear, "Here comes the money," and then that arena would go fucking bonkers, or stadium. It's not even an arena. So we'll see. It's the wacky world of pro wrestling. Nothing. It's like Sting says, the only thing that's not for sure is what's not for sure. Um, and I mean, listen, SummerSlam was a pretty big success. You might see. I was there when he tore his quad at the SoFi. I mean, a lot of Ricochet talk. I don't know if he's available to debut at All In. I don't know if his 90-day compete clause is whatnot. Now, Camille, she's going to be in Mercedes Moné corner. Maybe. I mean, everyone told me about how great she was, and she had a match last week against a jobber. I didn't see it. Like I saw it, but I didn't. My Jordan actually said that she's like Rob Van Dam, and I definitely didn't see that. Now I'm not going to judge her, just based off of one match, but um, I mean, she's not quite as muscular as China, but I could see her playing. Yeah, but I don't think Shane McMahon was on steroids. Like, I don't think that's why he blew his quad out. I just think that he, he's not really an athlete. Like I don't know if he works out a lot. He's just young, and at the time, he takes all those crazy bumps. It's Father Time catches up with everyone. But I mean, I would put him in there with like Darby Allin. Um, but I'll give Shane this. Like he'll take those crazy bumps. So, and Darby will, so I could see them doing a fucking spot fest. But I think you'd have to have another guy in there like a Jack Perry to um handle some of the wrestling. I mean, obviously Shane McMahon's he'll take the bumps, and Darby's a good wrestler, but you need someone in there as like a stopgap measure. You just can't be, and it could be a relatively short match. I mean, people are going to be, excited, and I would want them wanting more versus having Shane in there for too long. Um, so it's interesting. I mean, it definitely opens up the door for Shane to bring over some guys from the WWE who like him and don't like Triple H. Um, so, well, I mean, that's the thing though, Queen on is, you know, that's just a fun match. Him and Darby and Jack Perry. If it were me, I mean, you already based Blood and Guts around the main event of Darby and Jungle or Jack Perry. So maybe Shane, if he doesn't want to wrestle or he can't wrestle, could be the special guest referee, and then he cost one of them the match, and then him and Darby have a match in the next pay per view. I mean, obviously you don't put a title around him, but you know, uh, I'm gonna guess that Shane and Triple H don't get along that well. I'm gonna guess that Shane and his sister don't get along that well. 80s Kiss, Dylan, and that goes against most people's opinions. But I just preferred 80s Kiss. Starting with Unmasked, which was a Cars sounding album. I don't mean the Gary Newman song. I mean, excuse me. I mean the band, the Cars, and then you had the Elder, which was a good concept album, and then you had Creatures of the Night, which was an album that deserved a better fate. I mean, I think it only went gold in America. And then you had what? Lick It Up, great album. I love Animalize with the late Mark St. John. Thank you very much. You can see a guitar amp ad. Well, I guess you can't see it. That frame right there. And then Asylum was a good album. Crazy Nights was basically a Kiss trying to sound like Bon Jovi and Heart. That's why they brought in Ron Nevison, who produced Heart's comeback records. And then Hot in the Shade was kind of a lazy record. It was literally all demos, and they just released it. Um, so, I mean, commercially, probably Dynasty, which started their downfall. I mean, I Was Made for Loving You was a gigantic disco hit, but Kiss was not a disco band. So that is what got a lot of fans being like, "What is this?" So they just moved on to other bands. Um, you had new wave coming, bands like the Cars and Modern English and shit like that, and then you had the new wave of '80s UK metal, Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and then you had the harder American bands, like Metallica, Suicidal Tendencies. And then you had the gay stuff like Bon Jovi, John Bon Jovi. Did you see Brian Adams is going to put out his versions of rock and? Oh, really? Dylan, please do tell. While I get an energy drink, I'm interested in that for sure. I like rock and roll hell. Take me out of this rock and roll hell. I need to get away. I would be interested to see Brian Adams' take on War Machine. Of course, who's in Brian Adams' band? Well, Mickey Curry on drums. Like to hear his take on Eric Carr's drumming. Detroit Rock City, the movie was so bad, I almost walked out of it. Um, well, I mean, Bon Jovi and my favorite Bon Jovi song is one of their first single releases, "She Don't Know Me." What more can I do? There's nothing that I haven't tried. Still, it's so hard for her to notice. But I tried hard to be straight. There's nothing left I can take. If only she would look my way. Hey, hey, she don't know me. She don't know. I think the end of the video is completely out of control, where John Bon Jovi stops two Mexicans from sexually assaulting the hot girl in the video. Would that be on Spotify? Thank you, Dylan, very much. See, this is why I do the stream. I'd rather get the information that Dylan just provided in a super chat. I don't need to cuck for super chats, guys. I got SAG after money. Fat stacks of society, baby. She's a little runaway. Good keyboards by David Bryant. I have no interest in seeing that movie. Big SAG money. SAG after Baby Doll. I just liked that song, She Don't Know Me. Also, a deep cut Bon Jovi is On the Edge of a Broken Heart off the soundtrack for the Fat Boys movie Disorderlies. On the edge of a broken heart, I'm looking outside. On the inside, you're with him. Who's on the wrong side now? Do you still think of him? I tried to call, but no one answered. Two silhouettes, a private dancer. Lights go dim as the music starts to fade away. Who the hell can sing word for word the words to a Bon Jovi song off the Fat Boys soundtrack? What a shock the human beatbox died of a heart attack. But I heard he was about to get popped for child porn, so it's probably better. Probably better. What up, Nationalist 818? I don't give a fuck if Chad Chad and Shuley. I talked to Shuley today, man. I'm good with Shuley. I'm good with Chad. But, you gotta fucking I don't care who I'm up against. I really don't. I mean, this is just a fun stream. And Dylan has made my night with Bryan Adams releasing his Kiss song. It would be kind of cool for Kiss to do like not a box set, but Kiss has worked with a lot of people. I think they worked with Lou Reed. Maybe there's an extra song they did with Lou Reed from the Elder Sessions. The Bryan Adams stuff. I think Van Halen. That Christine 16 was never released with Van Halen on the electronic guitar. 1.6K watching, and I've got 16 people here. But you know what? I'm happy for Shuley. Like Shuley's always been good to me, very nice to me. And he puts in a lot of fucking work, man. Got a whole network and producers and co-hosts. I'm a one-man soldier. And it's great for Chad too. Like I don't I didn't really want to go up against anyone, but you know, what are you going to do? I mean, if I would have went on earlier, I'm going up against Kevin. If I would have been on earlier than that, I'm going up against Shuley in the morning and Melton in the morning. So sour milk, $1.99. Keep on keeping on, Big Earl. You're a one-man army. Fuck yeah, I am. And I'm not in it for the money, honey. Ooh, it's hot in here with all these SAG checks. You guys try to screen grab my address on that. I don't give a fuck if you guys have my address. I'm not going to give it to you, but like if you screenshotted that, send me some money, honey. So yeah, there you go. We're gonna do a couple more minutes. I can't take the pressure of going up against Shuli and Chad. We don't do the dabble verse in here, but I also know a lot of people in this stream listen to that stuff, and I'm forcing you to. Can someone go in Shuli's chat and plug my live stream? Hello. I think we have our first spam of the night. Jashandeep Singh. Hello. You really should super chat me if you're going to spam. Oh, no, he's talking wrestling. Okay. Well, you should still super chat me. Hello, I am Hatim. WWE is related to Hatim and Dayal, the Antichrist. Batista, I don't know. I'll have what you're having, bro. Kane and the Undertaker are related to Dayal, the Antichrist. I know. Yeah, I can. You should super chat me for making me read that shit. Um, yes, I'd rather have you guys going to Shuli, no, and Chad's stream and say I'm going live right now. I need the money, honey. Yeah, I do have a big dick, so I'm cool with that. Hit the like button. Let's get up to 22 likes. There's 22 people watching right now. A fan of Aerosmith. I've seen them live many a time. I saw them open. I know Guns N' Roses opened up for them. I think in '88, right before they really popped. And I love that Desmond Child. The comeback albums with Desmond Child. Angel. Don't know what I'm gonna do about this feeling inside. Yes, it's true. Loneliness took me for a ride without your love. There's no plugging family theme songs in here. I mean, Mr. Singh, I don't know if you're trolling me or trying to get the stream going. I welcome aboard the Earlverse. Um, I like What It Takes. That's a good song off of Permanent Vacation. There goes my old girlfriend with another diamond ring. And all those late night promises, I guess they don't mean a thing. Is he talking about someone from my past? I mean, it was a diamond ring. Uh, hey, listen, I'll take some traction in India. I don't give a fuck where people are listening, as long as they're listening. Excuse me, this is not carbonated. My bad. I apologize from India. I know Russell Peters. If that'll get your pee pee wet. Is Lois there or back with Gail? Lois is in the building. She's actually right here. She's sleeping right now on the hardwood floor. Lay It Down is a great rat jam. I know you don't really know me. I know you don't really care to see me. I'm into total affection, not being scared. If you'll never tease me, you know you really want to lay it down. Right now, no retracting your messages, Jashandeep Singh. Um, how much beaver has Steven Tyler pounded? I mean, so much pussy to Steven Tyler was the gateway drug to dick. But I'm sad Aerosmith is retiring from touring. But I think the last time I saw Aerosmith was at Irvine Meadows, which is now a condominium complex in Irvine, with Jackal opening in support. Uh, so but those guys were fucking old then, and that's 93. Uh, those guys could probably barely move right now. Um, but and Hannibal is live right now too. I'm just going up against all my boys. Um, so it's like Kiss. Gene and Paul are in their fucking 70s. So I get it. But I think Kiss could do it right. You could just throw out 4 young dudes in makeup. Kiss is really 4 characters. So, yeah, I mean, Motley Crue. I mean, Poison sounds pretty good. Uh, but I don't know if that guy was trolling Kip. He seemed to be saying that people are related to him, famous wrestlers. Uh, Hannibal the Wrestling, the show. It's funny, when I was the house racist on Roast Battle, Biggie, Hannibal came up to me one night after Roast Battle and said, you do that really well. It's not really a character, is it? So Jeff Lynne, yeah, Jeff Lynne does sound pretty good. Oh, he is troll. I didn't know what he was trolling though. It's not like he was plugging a product or anything. I didn't think he was saying. I mean, I didn't know what the hell he was saying. He was just saying that someone is the Antichrist. Uh, I don't mind. The only thing I don't tolerate in the Earlverse is the racist stuff. So, who's that one guy? Was it Mr. Z or Dr. Z who was doing the N-word tower? Yeah, we don't do that here. Any thoughts on Rogan's new special? It's getting good feedback. I didn't watch it. I like the one joke someone tweeted out, about we lost a lot of people during COVID, and in 2024 they're still lost, or something like that. I thought that was a clever, like a wordplay joke. Yeah, I honestly don't think that guy was trolling, but maybe Kip Smith saw something I didn't. Of course, Kip Smith and Gina Babina, who's probably in Shuli's stream right now. 1,600 people. Shuli, break me off some of those listeners, man. I mean, it is, I would assume it's tomorrow afternoon in India. So maybe it's a good time for me to podcast and get that Russell Peters rub. Uh, I just don't know what he was saying. Maybe he's a Satnam Singh. Maybe he was related to Satnam Singh. I don't know. Um, so I did not watch any of Rogan's special, so I'm not against it, for sure. I just, like I said last night, Jinder Mahal would be a good AEW addition, but they got enough bodies. That's not the problem. Um, so Vijay Singh, how about Vijay Armitage, the tennis player? Vijay Singh, great golfer, along with my boy Calvin Pete. What up, Ryan Nodal? No dice. We're just doing a nice, friendly, and chilling stream right here. I swear to God, I could pull clips from Rogan's Protect Our Park shows and make a better special. Gina is in Chad's chat. Advertise the stream in Chad's chat. I've done enough for free for Chad. Let's just start advertising Earl's live and everyone else's stream. So I'm going to go on Hannibal's stream. Maybe that's how we get the Earlverse to pop. And I'm not kidding, Ryan. Hello. Goodbye. Let me thank the super chatters. I like to make them feel special in this trying economic time. Sour milk. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching the shorts and the live streams. Yeah, I mean, I heard Rogan did something of it with a Chinese accent. Uh, you can't cancel Rogan. He's just too big. You make him stronger if you try and cancel him. It's like you can't cancel Chappelle either. There's those two guys are just too fucking big, and it's just like Andrew Tate. I've been listening to Andrew Tate. Um, he's like sometimes you just got to know when you're losing the game, and the people who think they're gonna cancel Rogan or Chappelle, you only make them stronger because you make their fan base, which is big to begin with, uh, circle around them, and it just you got to take the knee sometimes. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't even know what the body's exhibit is, so and I probably won't watch the special. Like I said last night, I don't like watching comedy. I want to do it, or I'd rather write some jokes. I got a couple funny minutes about the French pole vaulter with the big dick, and I'd rather go to not an open mic necessarily, but I'd rather go, try and do a show, and then I kind of write on stage sometimes, so I would like to do that. I'm not gonna. The only thing I really watch on Netflix right now is Cobra Kai, and I'm struggling to finish it. Um, so I've got to get on that because I think the problem with this season's Cobra Kai is they've unless you bring back Larry B. Scott or Dutch, there's really no one else you could bring back, and the storyline's getting fucking ridiculous. I mean, we get it. Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso don't like each other. Oh, I love it. I love it. Would you ever donate your body to science, Earl? I mean, I'd be a great body to donate. Um, ah, let's get some Chad acolytes in here. I'll take it. What if I just paid people to put my link? What's that one anti-Trump stream, the Midas Touch, and just paid someone to just plug my stream in there. Uh, Yeah, I mean, you don't think Netflix everyone wants to be in bed with Rogan. Everyone is in the Rogan business. Yeah, but I could see them, it's Hollywood, Zoom. They could I thought you were dead. It's like was it Snake Plissken? That's what everyone was telling him. I thought you were dead. I mean, it would be funny to see Larry B. Scott. Uh, so, I mean, how can we spread the word? I mean, I guess, whenever I do an Earlverse stream, go on other people's streams and say, hey, Earl's live right now. And then they come over here and snipe me. And, I don't give a fuck. So shout out to The Mentalist. I like that show with Simon Baker. Um, how can you spread the word? I mean, I don't know. You guys do a good job. I don't, pardon the pun. It is Eric Bischoff in the background. I had to pay for this at the Ric Flair roast. This is my Eric Bischoff doll I got at the Ric Flair roast. And here's my I bought this at a recent my Joey Janela doll. Eric is sleeping right now. See, this is what happens when I try and multitask on a live stream. Everything starts falling down, man. Joey! Whoa. I realize my background's a little cluttered, and here's my newest edition, my Pierre-Luc Dubois LA Kings Chrome Dome helmet. Game worn. Put Kamala there for now. Whatever happened to Janela's run in AEW? I asked him about that. He didn't really seem to want to talk about it. So, yeah, but that's the great thing, William, is that what I loved about um, Cobra Kai in the early versions, the early seasons, I should say, is that they were in on the joke. So it would kind of be funny to see Larry B. Scott just pop up, just a quick. Maybe he's working at a liquor store, and Martin Cove walks in and goes, "Do I know you?" And they both look at each other. Just a quick scene like that. Oh, excuse me. Don't ever apologize, Dylan. You made my night with the Brian Adams uh, Kiss song release. Janela was buried in AEW. The roster's too heavy. I'm on there too. Link Poe, thank you. I didn't mean Tukey are cool. We met at Hackamania, but I'll have to check out Stevie Richards' YouTube channel. But getting back to the question of how can you help me? I mean, just posting my link and other. I don't like. I'm friends with Shuley and Chad, so I don't think they would mind. And let's be honest, I've got 20 people in here. It's not like they're going to be upset that two people come in here. And I would consider Tookie a friend. Any road trips coming up? Not anytime soon. And if people ask me why I don't do the road more often, I've got enough TV credits to do it. But why do some shitty comedy club in the South when I can get some money, honey, from cartoons, and I'm dying up here in the jellies and Real Rob and all that shit. I mean, fat stacks. Should I put Earl stickers on gas pumps? Whatever, man. Whatever. Well, like I said, I think most people would be cool with it. I mean, it's not like someone put my link in Shuley's stream and 500 people came in here. Then I could see Shuley getting pissed, rightfully so. Or if you did it on MLC and you know, Kevin had like 950 people, and then 300 people left to come in here. This is the little stream that could. I don't think I've ever had over 100. I think I had 100 people in here the first monetized stream I ever had. And then it's been downhill ever since. But that's okay. I think Kevin would be cool. I mean, I don't think I'm threatening to Kevin in the streaming wars of 2024. Who are these people you guys talk about? You talking about the Rustlers or the Dabbleverse? Rocco is Tookie. Did the Steelers get Brandon Ayuk? I'm hearing reports. Well, we dabble in the Dabbleverse, so you know, but we don't specifically talk about it. And I do realize that I'd probably have a lot more people in here if we talked shit and if me and Shuley went back and forth, or me and Kevin, just two bitter old white dudes ripping each other. Well, thank you, SCVID. I try and make this a entertaining stream. We can talk hockey. We can talk, pro wrestling. We can talk politics. We can talk about, life, and leave the shit talking for the other people. I mean, listen, there's a market for it. I haven't been to a game in Pittsburgh, but I am going with my friend Richie, the old general manager of the Comedy Store. We are going to Vegas for the second year in a row to see the Pittsburgh Steelers invade the Vegas Allegiant Stadium. Very nice stadium. But I will at some point go to a game to see the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, Dave Parker for Hall of Fame. Probably not happening. I don't know why. I mean, he must have really burned some bridges with the people who vote. I can't make sense of it. I mean, for 5 years, in my opinion, he was the best player in the game, and here's the crazy thing, 2 bad fucking knees since high school. You know, the knee surgeries Dave Parker got in the '70s? Probably like, uh, Dr. Kevorkian level. But, I mean, he could hit for average, he could steal bases, he doesn't get credit, but he stole, 30, sacks a few times. And I think the greatest arm ever, not just on that one throw in the All-Star game where he threw out, was it Brian Downing? Gary Carter made a great tag, but put Parker in the Hall of Fame before he dies. I mean, you're going to tell me Ted Simmons is in the Hall of Fame and Dave Parker isn't? Like, if you could transform and get every player in their prime on your team, you're going to pick Ted Simmons over Dave Parker? As Clay Davis would say, shit. By the way, one of the great regrets I have is not buying a Clay Davis doll when I had the opportunity. But, what are you going to do? Yeah, we could talk Hall of Fame. I mean, it was awesome to see Steve Mongo McMichael get in the NFL Hall of Fame. Of course, in the condition he's in, he probably doesn't even realize he's in it. That's not me joking. He's fucked up. But it is cool. They kind of brought the ceremony to him because there was no way that he could travel. And I kind of like Mongo McMichael and the Four Horsemen. But, he God or whatever you consider is up there is calling him. But he's so fucking tough. He's still sticking around. What is his problem? Does he have MS? Is that what he has? Did you talk about Shane McMahon meeting with Tony Khan? We briefly touched on it. That would be awesome. I'm going to assume that's the big surprise for All in London. What I would do personally is I would have Jack Perry versus Darby Allin, and you throw in a mystery opponent, and it's Shane McMahon. So, is it dementia? No, I don't know. I mean, I'll have to. I don't have my iPad. I guess I can look it up on my iPhone. Let's see. Steve McMichael illness. Let's see what it says here. ALS. So that's, it's a bummer to see someone who was so physically gifted, and the same thing with Dave Parker. I think he has Parkinson's or MS. Dave Parker might have MS. And to see it's just some guy, in Parker's case, 6'5", 220, and not even like bodybuilder built, but just this magnificent body. And I mean, we're not talking like Ron Gant body, but and now he can barely do 10 pounds on the chest press. They showed him working out in that documentary. So, I mean, if you're not going to put Dave Parker in the Hall of Fame because of the drugs thing, then you're going to have to take out Ty Cobb for the racist shit. Phil Negro, or not Phil Negro, Gaylord Perry for the spitball, George Brett for the corked bats, Don Sutton, I think, said he doctored baseballs and almost Schmugly, what up? What up? You're kind of semi-new to the stream. Welcome aboard. So, okay, Dave Parker did cocaine. Great. If you're going to kick out baseball players from the 70s and 80s for drugs, then you're going to have about 7 people in the Hall of Fame. So put the motherfucker in before he dies. I mean, there's very few guys who are in their prime. Now, I think the knock on Parker is he had a short prime, but Jesus Christ, I mean, I think he had close to 3,000 hits. And he had a great career with the Reds. And he wasn't horrible in Milwaukee. I mean, he was fading a little bit with the Angels but that was cool to have him and Dave Winfield on the same team. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Tony Khan does seem to uh, get music that is tough to get, like "Wayward Carry On My Wayward Son." Now, granted, that song probably wasn't that hard to get, but it was, and he did get, I think, Brian Daniels or Daniel Bryan, whatever, his music. So I can't imagine Triple H and Stephanie helping Shane McMahon. I mean, you get the feeling that those three just don't like each other, and Shane McMahon's probably like, "Fuck you." I watched that Pete Rose documentary. I think it was on HBO. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Uh, here's the tough thing for me is people seem to think, well, if he didn't bet on the Reds to lose, then what's the problem? But I'll come up with this scenario because I'm very familiar with that Reds era. Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, Ron Oster. Tom Browning was the great lefty. They had John Franco, of course. Let's say Pete Rose bet on the Reds to win. Say they're playing the Dodgers. And Tom Browning's the pitcher. And, he's pitching 6, 7 strong innings. But then he leaves Browning in maybe an inning more than he should have. And the Reds win the game. Franco comes in, cleans up the mess. But now Browning has dead arm for the next game, and he gets shelled. So, I mean, it's tough because I do think that even though he bet on the Reds to win and never to lose, allegedly, still the way he coached could have determined outcomes of games. But, fuck it. Ty Cobb's a racist. Gaylord Perry cheated. Don Sutton cheated. You think McGuire and Barry Bonds and Sosa were the only guys to do steroids? You don't think that guys from the 70s and 80s were fucking popping Anabar and D-ball and Deca? Shit. So I agree with you there, William. Have you heard Billy Jack Haynes had to say about Vince and women in the threesome in that white limo? I can imagine. Do you realize how many players, owners, coaches bet on games and just do it through family or friends? Yeah, I mean, 100%. Like, if we really start doing deep dives, that's why it upsets me so much about Dave Parker. It's like, do you think Dave Parker was the only guy fucking doing coke in the 70s or dealing it or whatever he was doing? Uh, so, and do you think George Brett was the only one corking his bat? I mean, baseball is probably the sport that you can cheat in the easiest. Either fucking with the bats, um, putting shit in your mitt, Vaseline or whatever. I mean, shit, the league basically cheated when they juiced the balls in the dead ball era. They literally, I forgot what they did to the baseballs, but they made the balls more livelier. So if you hit one hard, it goes out of the fucking stadium. So, I mean, that's a tough one, Biggie. We're kind of talking about that now. I mean, I'm a Reds fan. I grew up a Reds fan because my dad was friends with the owner before Marge shot, Happy Williams. So, like the example I just gave, in terms of, I mean, I don't believe Pete Rose. There's no way a gambler of that caliber did not bet on them to lose here and there. Like if the Reds were throwing out, I don't know, say Ron Gullett against Fernando Valenzuela, you got to figure the Dodgers are favored in that. There's no way Pete Rose didn't bet on the Dodgers. So yeah, good point, Queen on. Well, so is Donald Trump. So everyone, vote Trump. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? So, it's tough. I mean, it's a slippery slope when you start digging into off-field activities in any sport. You know how many scummy fucking guys I know who play in the NHL, cheated on their wives, did drugs or whatever, NFL. I mean, listen, I'm a Steelers fan. You guys know I'm a huge Steelers fan. You know how many fucking roids the Steelers 70s guys were taking. Now, they weren't illegal at the time, so is it really cheating? That was the argument I think McGuire, Sosa, and Bonds had is like, hey, we were doing steroids, but per the league policy, steroids were not banned. So, which is it? Uh, yeah, Don Gullett, right? Well, that's how big of a Reds fan I am. I mean, Don Gullett, Ron. I could do some deep dive. Red Ed Armbrister. Of course, I have one of my prized possessions upstairs is my Ken Griffey signed baseball. Um, that's not Ken Griffey Jr. I mean the dad, Ken Griffey. Who else was deep cut? Buddy Bell, Nick Asaski. Thank you very much. Which athletes are the biggest heels in life? Probably Barry Bonds. Roger Clemens. He don't give a fuck. So, all right, you kids. You guys are now free to go watch Shuley or Chad or Hannibal. Stephen Piercy, H.W. Prince is awesome. Great guy. Um, Very friendly. He's got a great woman with him, guiding him through the pitfalls of life. Before I leave, let me thank my tipper, my fan funder. Yes, it was Ross. Thank you, Sour Milk, for keeping it on the reel. And I'll probably take tomorrow night off in terms of the stream. But who knows? Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just slide one in and we could get 25 people watching. Yes. Let's wait for Kip Smith to get the pluggies in. My favorite player is Randy Johnson, the big unit. Boing! I did comedy in front of him once. I'll leave you guys with this story. So, Larry Flint used to have a hustler club in Beverly Hills, and they had a comedy night, Giggles and Jiggles. So it was stripper comic. So the Arizona Diamondbacks walked in when there was this beautiful girl on stage. And I guess they had just lost to the Dodgers like 12-3 or something. And then I'm gonna slide it in right to the top. Slide it in. I ain't never gonna stop. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks walk in and they looked pretty angry. And then the DJ goes, all right, and your first comic of the evening, Earl Skakel. And I bombed my ass off. Beverly Hills did allow a strip club, the Hustler Club. That was on, I believe, Beverly Drive, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to listen to that Bryan Adams song right now. By the way, I think you and Ray could do a cool baseball podcast. Now, I work alone. Too many people don't like him, man. And I don't want to, I'm not going to split, super chat money with anyone else. But you're probably right, Kip Smith. But the problem with doing anything with Ray is that everyone's going to snipe the show and make fun of us, and fuck that, man. Larry must have greased the heck out of that cancel. Fuck yeah, he did. So, all right, you guys, I might see you tomorrow night. I might not, but I'll see you Thursday night. This has been another fine edition of the Earlverse. Checking out. Like Kenny Omega says, I must now bid you adieu, goodbye, and good luck.